Have the PLC, which has got the SCADA as the controlling entity along with the backend PLC program there. So the program will react only to the sensors thing like. So in order to make this motor over there, which is from B&R, and also the actuators from Festo, you need to have the sensors in between like. So what happens here is the PLC is now ready to start the process once the job approaches the thing like that. Is this sensor, when it approaches, as per the SCADA program, what is happening is the conveyor, the jobs have to be pushed into the conveyor. So this is a depiction of how this job is getting pushed into the conveyor there. So once the job is pushed into the conveyor, what is supposed to be next in the process? You have to have the filling happening like. So in order to ensure that the filling is happening, you have to have some signals, because you need to see whether the job has reached that position there. So you have the optical sensor over here. So these optical sensors are supposedly going to ensure to see whether those jobs are in those places by which you could do the filling operation as such. All three, as per the SCADA screen, you could see the three actuators actually coming down in order to fill the thing. So similarly, I have the same arrangement where all the three actuators come over here and they start to fill there. So once the filling is there, again it cannot be all the time filling there. So there could be some level sensor or something like that, which can again give a signal, which again is read by the PLC there, the program there. So once that is there, what is happening is the motor starts to run, which means the conveyor is starting to move. So once it is moving, it cannot move endlessly. It has to come to a point where something has to detect and tell, okay, next in the line, whatever process is there has to happen. So for which again, you have this RFID reader.
What type of sensor that is?
No, this is the inductive sensor. It can sense only metals, not very big strokes. It can be to the approximately to the diameter of the sensor as such. Only metal, moving objects, wherever you have maximum field lines getting cut, you have the sensing very nicely done over there. Whereas this optic,
any special reason of having this optical sensor, or we can use any?
No, optical sensors basically they are used for long range sensing. Okay, so where you have something which you cannot approach there, so you can very specifically focus those areas like. So once you keep these sensors, you could first of all have a very long range sensing. Further, you have the possibility that you could also very specifically direct, okay, you check this thing or not, this thing like that. Whereas once the thing comes to that part, so what is happening is you have again the capping arrangement. Again the three cylinders have to be capped. So again for everything you have the sensor where it triggers that event to start or not to start, which the program is written in that manner. So when that signals are available, they immediately trigger those output. Again you have the cylinders coming down, so they have the capping done. So once that is done, then it finally reaches to the RFID card reader. So what it is there is, it is as it is passing through, then you have the features that have been written over there, that this is of this batch, it was manufactured on this day. So all those things are getting acknowledged, which is again recorded at the PLC, and it is stored as information for future use like that. So that is what is the whole arrangement. So here what you see is a control which is in front of the PLC in the form of a SCADA. At the back you have the program running.
Here what is a SCADA? Whole system is called a SCADA? Or
See, SCADA is nothing but a pictorial depiction of whatever your process is like. So basically you have that. So it's not just a picture alone, you can also trigger the outputs with the help of those pictures. That is what is the specialty in the SCADA there.
say PLC is a part of SCADA?
Because the screen is been tagged with the program behind there. So whenever you touch the screen, what happens is immediately you have the control signal reaching through those things, and you have the whole thing moving there. So you have a front end monitoring arrangement as well as controlling arrangement. You have the actual program which is really doing the control there, which is again directing some actuators on one side and some rotary actuators, which is nothing but the servo motor. So the rotary motor is making the conveyor to proceed, whereas the linear actuators, which are pneumatic, they are trying to move the or fill the liquid or whatever.
The system, what is the specialty? Specialty means like a different manufacturers parts can be integrated.
No, it is, see, the sensors, you could have different varieties of sensors, 3-wire sensor, 4-wire.
PLC in the system.
Definitely there is a PLC over there. See, you have the PLC. PLC is the master control for. The B&R is not having the control over there. Siemens is trying to control the actuators as well as the motor over there. Okay.
And this is your Festo PLC.
No, this is an interface box. So what is happening is, I have the screw terminal over there, to which I am connecting it to this multi-core cable there. So as soon as this cable is connected with the thing, like I have the inputs and outputs available at this place, from which I am branching into various solenoids by which it is making it to move. These are flow control valves. Flow control valves. See, I wanted to synchronize with the screen there. So you have the screen showing that is coming down like. So I also should show the linear actuators moving slowly like that. So I have put some flow control valves, so which are almost synchronizing with the thing like. Of course, here you could do it further, but you have to tune it and make this thing. Yeah. That is why we have put the flow control valves. So it becomes more or less same as what is the screen is.
Sir, today morning there was a talk on smart factory. Sir, how many companies are using, if you know?
No, of course, Festo is into those smart factories there. We are with Festo.
Festo, okay.
With
Festo don't have like this PLC, no?
we have PLCs.
Like our Maruti or Ashok Leyland, they are.
No, in India still it is in the process. It is a evolution. Now only it has started.
If you talk about USA and development.
No, this is again a revolution, as you know. It's only taking off now. So it should realize in terms of components and all those things. Finally, it can reflect into the thing. So there are other problems, as we were seeing in the morning, like. So already there are setups existing, like nobody can overnight scrap those things and put new things over there. So it will take some time. So the new ones are.
In abroad also this concept is developing.
Which one?
Abroad also this.
Abroad only it is taking up. Germany is driving it actually. So Industry 4 is from Germany. Yeah.
Okay, this is a architecture, integrated architecture. We are using Siemens controller 1215. Second one is a drive from B&R, which is communicating on Modbus TCP/IP to this controller. Then Profinet from PNF, we are using RFID card reader, which is communicating with PLC over Profinet. And for driving the actuator from Festo, we are directly connecting this actuator to digital input output of PLC. Now this BNR, Vikas will explain this kit.
This complete system is from B&R. This one is PLC plus HMI, and we call it power panel. This model is PP65, and this one is a bus coupler, which is created linking between the servo drive and this HMI or PLC. And these are the modules. First module is the bus coupler module, as I already tell you. Second one is the power supply to give the supply to this complete unit. Third module is the digital input module. This one is the digital output module, AI module, AM module, and last one is the thermocouple module. As all the channels are currently open of the thermocouple, so it is showing error. This is the, and our servo drive is communicating on power link. This is the power link connection. This connection is going to servo drive. This one is the power link, and this one is our servo motor. Now on servo drive, you can see this first one card is AC114 card. That is the power link card to communicate with this PLC. Second one card is the AC112 card, that is the resolver card to read the actual position of this motor. Here you can see this part is the resolver part. Here the resolver is fitted, which read the actual position in motor and give that position to the servo drive. Okay. Currently in this scenario we are using this system as a client. There are two control modes. First is the local, second one is the remote. Then you can control the servo motor or servo drive from this HMI. If you put it in the remote, then all the controls will go to the Siemens part. And both the Siemens and B&R part currently communicating on Modbus TCP. That is a simple Ethernet communication cable that we put one on the switch, and second cable is going to Siemens PLC. We both are transferring registers Siemens PLC to BNR PLC. He can give me command, or I can also give him command to operate.
Now basically this is a client which is communicating on Modbus TCP IP. Now this drive, servo drive, we need to control via a Siemens PLC. This is a background work, okay. But let's say I am an operator, but I am not interested to control, or I am not interested to see the background work. I just want to see the statuses of process, and I can give some state point from directly one SCADA room, okay. So what I will provide him, let's say this is a SCADA part. From here I can give some input, and this input will go to the PLC, and PLC according to the set point it will write to this BNR drive, and similar way it will give the command to the actuator to Festo. This is about Siemens PLC and SCADA. Then he will.
So basically, the integration part is taking place in 3 steps. One is in primary step where the sensors and everything, sensors is there which triggers the sensor, which senses the target. Then the motion controller is there who controls the motion of the conveyor. Then whole the controller part is actually controlled through the PLC. And there is some actuators who actuates the cylinder, and the filling part is done. Fine. So there is some sensors.
I think you can explain
About
the bottle filling
sensors.
process now. Bottle filling process
Let
you
it
just
be.
explained.
Okay.
Let it be.
Complete process how it's working.
So basically this is a conveyor carrying 3 bottles, for example, and each bottle is carrying some tags. Tags is carrying the information about the bottle. For example, the manufacturing date or the expiry date, and I'll say the quantity of the liquid, right? So these 3 bottles are moving in a conveyor.
Let's say there is an empty bottle. Now it is conveyor is moving. Now this bottle will move to the empty bottle station. So as soon as it is reached to there, it will detect that sensor. The bottle has reached. Conveyor will stop.
This is basically the inductive sensor which detects the metal part, metal object.
Now again it will go to the filled bottle station. The filling process will start, and after completion of filling station again conveyor will start, and it will go to the sealed bottle section. Let's say this is sensor detected that now it is packing the seal of that bottle. After completion it will go to the next procedure, and here you will see now Coke is 200 ml and the expiry date is here.
This much information stored in the tag.
And that is stored in that tag. If you see the black one of that bottle, this is a RFID tag.
And the quantity and the data is updated that this process, this bottle is detected, process is completed, and the
2%. If you again move it, the counter will again increase. Again if you see, empty bottle has detected, conveyor stop. After few seconds, again conveyor will start, bottle will move, it will go to the filled bottle section. Again it will fill that bottle. Again after few time, conveyor will start, bottle will move to the next station, sealed station. If I give the input from this seal, again it will take some time to seal that bottle. Again conveyor will start, and it will move to the tag reader, and if you see again this signal 200 ml is there.
So the idea is basically to show this integrated approach is you have a user interface basically which is a SCADA here, which is communicating at the back end to a PLC finally, and then PLC is controlling to a motion controller, and finally it is taking care of the actuators. So that's a basically complete scheme you can see here. It's a small scale level model of operations going on into the manufacturing plant or process plant. That is the idea, and most importantly how they are communicating among themselves. So who is issuing command and what is the communication interface. So in the previous lecture you might have seen there are a lot of communication interfaces available. So and the good part is that they all are from different manufacturer now. It's not from the same manufacturer. So you can see a Siemens PLC, BNR motion controller, their own PLCs, Festo's actuators, and then valves. So and sensors are from P&F. So that's the beauty of this demonstration, that you have different components communicating on the same language, as we are discussing in the same language. So that's how they understand each other's language, what instruction is coming in, what to execute, and how they are doing this. And the good part is the user interface. So this is not required, may not be required at the shop floor. You can have this interface in your room as a management. You can just see what the process is going on. And then they are all communicating on Ethernet to some extent. Yeah, some kind of a different protocols on Ethernet again. And so and this may be a user interface panel using an HMI. So that's the idea to demonstrate that. If you have any query, you can discuss.
Yes.
Now you can just go and discuss with it.
Here also if you see, this controller is understanding both protocol, Modbus TCP/IP and Profinet. But now BNR is understanding Modbus TCP/IP. So communicating between this PLC and BNR, I need to write common protocol. Now both are understanding Modbus TCP/IP. So I am giving command from SN1200 PLC, means Siemens PLC to BNR over Modbus TCP/IP. But a similar way, I need to communicate with PNF sensor also. But this PNF sensor is communicating over Profinet. On same way, I need to write in Profinet interface language to give the command to the RFID.
I mean, day before that lady, I don't know where she is asking how RFID can be integrated to a PLC and what is the network. So this is how, I mean, from this controller, you just need to have the end controller network, whatever you want. You want Profinet, Modbus, whatever. And there are some GSD files available on the internet. You need to download on the PLC and your RFID will be automatically integrated to the PLCs.
And these are the some languages. Just Savarkar, I think Savarkar has explained about ladder language, ABD language, STL language for doing the programming. This is a view of ladder language. And if someone is expert in FBD language, just he can switch over to the FBD. And if you see the view, now it will convert into this. Similar way, this is for SCL, if and yes you can write, this is for STL. In this way you can write the statement list languages. So these are the different languages, depending on the user he can use.
Yes, Siemens PLC they are using.
Yes.
Okay, is there any particular software or particular device is used to communicate between this? Because this is something
Yes,
different
yes, right,
language,
right,
because something is different should
Yeah.
be there in the language part. Here the ladder language, some different part. Here addressing type
Yes.
is something different. Here addressing type is something different. But how they are equal?
Yes, yes, that's why. This is the beauty of this integration. Now this software is different, this software is also different. Both are different make. Now again we need to integrate these two. But both are understanding one common language. Which language? Modbus TCP/IP. So my PLC is understanding same language and this PLC also understanding same language. So what I made here, this is my server now, Modbus TCP/IP server, and this is a Modbus TCP/IP client. So with this common protocol, I am sending the data.
Only due to this Modbus TCP/IP?
Yes,
Both are
yes, both are getting. But now in this case, this sensor is understanding Profinet signal, Profinet protocol, and my PLC is understanding same. So I can directly give through that Profinet protocol signal. And that you can configure here. Let's say this is a.
I think let me explain in a simple language that is better to understand. You are from Odisha?
Yes.
He is from Pune?
Kone.
Yes.
She is from Delhi. Someone English teacher taught you,
Yes.
another English teacher taught him, another English teacher taught her. Fine?
Yes.
So three different people program the different PLCs. Fine? But we all understand English.
Yes.
So then whatever we communicate among themselves is basically English. They are all understanding English, that is Modbus. The programming of Siemens controller done by someone else, no need to bother, but it understands
All
Modbus.
language is Modbus.
Yes, but
That is the only backbone of communication among different devices.
I
So
can.
that's the importance of the protocol. So there the device should be compatible on the protocol part, not on the specific
Software.
programming software.
Okay.
So once they understand the protocol of communication, then they can exchange information. That's the idea. I think
Yes,
I
yes,
just
similar.
made it simple. Yeah.
Similar. Because it is English, and if someone is made to me Marathi, then I can directly speak in that language. So I can speak in English and Marathi. So the both way you can possible.
That
So you
means
can-
you can connect any PLC.
Yes.
Any-
But you need to specify which protocol both are supporting,
Correct.
common protocol. That is
Communication should
important.
be clear, yeah.
General, which protocol they are generally supporting?
Profinet, Profibus, Modbus TCP/IP, then Ethernet IP, then TCP/IP, then Modbus, Modbus RTU, means serial communication,
One is Profibus.
then device net.
Then fast
There are
to decide
different. Yes, yes.
within that which is common. Then
Yeah, as a designer, you should be very careful in selecting the
Devices,
and then communication interface.
interfaces.
That is important. Yeah.
Ah, Profibus is different. To have the
Except every manufacturer.
for Ethernet, Modbus, Profinet, and
most of the Profibus something like in DP. Is there any specific?
Again, there is a difference, Profibus and Profinet. Profinet is,
Profibus DP.
yes, that's why. Profinet is on TCP/IP, means Ethernet, and Profibus it is on either Profibus DP or Profibus PA, distributed peri-peri or Profibus process automation organization. If you go for Profibus DP, you can go up to 12 Mbps maximum speed, 12 Mbps. But for DP, and if you select Profinet, then it can go up to Ethernet speed 100 Mbps. That is different. And again, yes, 100 Mbps. Again, there is a difference. If you go for Profibus, then number of devices, how many devices you can connect in one network. Again, it is different. Means you can go up to in one network 126 devices.
In Profibus DP.
Profibus DP. And if you go for Ethernet, then it is limitation of the Ethernet, 100, 200, 256.
But then Profibus DP is more.
Profibus DP having up to 126. But
only
if you go for Profinet, which is on Ethernet base, then you can go up to 100, 200, 300, depending on the. No, it is Ethernet. Then depending on the controller, how much controller capacity is there. If it is microcontroller, it can handle 100, 200. But it is a higher level controller.
If it is Profinet, can we make it wireless?
Wireless is also there. In same Profinet, you will get wireless devices. But then that device you need to use. One is a access point, another is a client point. So in between that, signal will transfer.
Communication can be done. Here, if you have put a
Wireless some device as access point, and here wireless as a client point.
modem, wireless modem.
Yes, yes.
There, put a mobile.
You can use
Changing your physical medium.
physical medium.
Physical, we are only changing the
Instead of cable, you are
We are
using
communicating on same protocol.
same protocol.
But that device should be compatible.
So that's what see.
I'm taking
see,
compatible devices,
Yes,
not
yes.
wireless.
Yes,
I
yes.
can talk to you on a landline phone. I can
And
talk to you
mobile
on mobile phone. That's the only difference once they understand the language. Media is different. If I'm using a wired media, then it's basically the Ethernet that
Ethernet.
they're showing here. If you're talking about a wireless, then definitely they will be, again, communication will be in the same protocol.
Okay, my question is basically, though we are controlling something, which is very much important. If we make it wireless, does it make
It's
it
your choice. See, if your control is not critical, you can go for wireless. Nobody suggests you to go for wireless for any critical application where control is involved. I think one of the speaker might have explained that
that's
also.
why I'm asking.
See, wireless never suggested for any critical control applications.
I can make wireless after data is
Monitoring is
interpreted.
Yeah, not only wireless, you can use GPRS or GSM communication also. But you need to see the criticality, how much critical operation is there.
The best part is, I think, whole of the plant is giving data towards SCADA with a wire communication.
Yes.
After SCADA, whatever data is communicated to manager or others, that may be wireless.
That is wireless, because it is not important.
No, that is what is doing here. I mean, see.
But some supervisor want to have a control on the plant, then he
For
should have a
controlling, but
wired control.
wired,
Yeah,
wired.
control is
Preferred.
always wired.
So you can go through this hardware also, load hardware,
Yeah, yeah.
if you want to see.
For SCADA stream software,
Again, it is a Siemens terminology TI portal. So with this same software, TI portal, totally integrated automation portal, you can configure PLC, HMI, SCADA, drive.
I had another software like WinCC.
WinCC. Basically, in older way, we used to WinCC.
it's
Now
newer.
it is newer.
All thing, everything. Is
Yes, yes, integrated. Again, different terminology for different make.
Earlier people used to make different
software
for
for-
different purpose actually. Now they are trying to integrate in one platform. So that everyone is doing that.
Doing that.
So everyone
That
is
will be
coming
better.
a integrated platform. So this is TI Siemens integrated platform.
Now this is Android Jamana today. So everyone want to see the all data on Android. That is also possible. This PLC and everything. But you need to see that everything. Yes, yes. Everything is possible.
Once you have a web
But
server running on the
yes,
device, you can access from anywhere on any device,
Any
wherever
devices.
you want. So that's the beauty. So once the information is available on a server, you can request by any device. Fine. It can be a mobile phone, it can be a tablet, it can be in a browser sitting somewhere else. So because server is giving that information. So device has to update the server, and from server you can make an access.
For giving mail, for giving any message, you have to configure here.
here it's
Server.
server.
Server should be capable to send messages, mails, whatever you want.
Then everything, that coding is made by here.
In
by the
PLC.
software.
Yeah. Any more queries?
Can you look at the different, there is another part like trend in SCADA before the older part. There is 4 parts divided. One is trend, one is writing trend, one is trend in time axis, another writing at what time what is done, what time what is the voltage or what is the current. Can you see this similar thing, similar features available?
Yes, yes, it is there. Now, if you look towards PLC only, there is a language is different. If you want to interested in HMI or SCADA, then you need to use some graphics object, and then that graphics object you have to link with PLC, and then it will take data from PLC and display on that graphics. Let's say this is a one graphics here. So this is a graphics, but simulation of this graphics we need some input from controller, and that is coming from that PLC. So that's why it is simulated.
That is through tags. basically.
Tax one.
So those addresses will be mapped on.
That can be shown by help of a train.
Right.
Even you can use your own software, basically VB, VC#. You can design your own screens. You have more flexibility in programming that. And then only thing is you have to make a connection with a PLC. And then you will be exchanging information through variables, and those variables are tagged.
That means I am designing the hardware part. There is the animation part in another software.
Another software.
I can link it to PLC.
Yeah, correct.
Link into Siemens.
Yes.
Yeah. See, only we have to pick those variables. So again, your software, application, and PLC should understand that.
You can also design by help of this software, SCADA software.
Yes,
also
yes.
design.
Yeah, that is, see, but there are again certain limitations. I have
You
seen
can
that.
design not more
You
than
can
that.
use much better graphics. You can incorporate
Graphics
some
not
more.
better than
If you are expert in language, C language, C sharp, then you can do
use
anything.
you can build your own user interface. And it's so open now.
Any common software for that graphics design?
You can use Visual C#. We have used
Visual
already.
C#.
Visual Basic you can use. We have already done that.
And another thing, one more thing, let's say this PLC and this another PLC, both doesn't have any common protocol, but both are supporting OPC. OPC. So both are supporting without any common protocol. You can communicate this controller through this OPC.
OPC is again a server.
Server.
See, again as someone sitting in between the two people.
Yes.
Yeah. And then exchanging information among themselves.
Translator later.
That is a final solution. This is some last word, end solution.
And this Visual Basic part is basically works with OPC only. Because Visual Basic requests OPC server communicate to the PLC,
Client.
get the data, then pass on this. So that's how it works.
As particular this question because in what we planned in our training center, we are using different type of PLC. We are planning to use different Aluminum PLC, Siemens
that's
PLC, ABB PLC, different type of PLC. So if there is a common protocol to
Yes, you can do.
translate the program in all PLC, that will come.
So you need to ask particular make which protocol is there, and then you need to see which is common.
See, if this was not there, otherwise you will find all plants will having same make of hardware everywhere. And you are binding the
Bound to buy that particular.
So that is not there. So industry has to
That should be
evolve in a
very much
different way. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.